Hello and welcome back to my garden. It's again time for me to do another little garden tour and show you around. I've been up to quite a bit this month, so there's quite a lot to show you. I have been back to work, so it has hampered some of my sowing and growing time, but I think I've done pretty well considering the limitations. So let me give you a little look at what's been going on in the garden. Okay, so here are my beetroot. And the leaves have been really badly eaten by something. Probably those flying devils. And then the grass and my potatoes, which have suffered from the wind really badly. And the flying monsters as well have eaten holes in the leaves, but I might do this one up today and see if I get any potatoes. And then there's I've forgotten what they're called, a little tree, a little oak tree. It's getting bigger by the day. Chili plant I put out here to try and get a bit more sunshine because the flowers keep falling off, just drooping and falling off. So I'm hoping it might turn into a chili. You never know. Then there's my rhubarb, which is doing exceptionally well. There's lots of ants on it because of all the black fly, but I'm leaving them for now. Cut a few leaves off yesterday because they're a bit droopy, but yeah, it's looking okay. Then there's the black currant bushes, which again I've chopped tips off some of them because they're all covered in ants and gunk, and they've been a bit squashed from when I put them under the netting, so hopefully they'll pick up a bit. I've picked off all my black currants now, so there shouldn't be any left. And there's this palm that we bought in Morrison, and a toilet obviously. Palm that we bought in Morrison's, was it Morrison? Yeah, a year ago, and he's not really doing anything, but he has a nice little spider on the top. For those that like spiders. But yeah, you can see on here the ants scurrying about, eating all the black fly. But this one didn't have any berries on, but it has got bigger as a plant, so that probably put all its energy into leaves rather than fruit, which is fine. And yes, I do need to weed that today. And there's a buddleia, which is going over now, but it has loads of butterflies on it this morning. And then there's some other sad tomatoes, which I've just given up on them. They keep getting broken. There is a tomato on there, but the branch it's on is broken, so it's probably not going to do anything, but I'll leave it. I'll keep feeding them and watering them, but they've got an hand. But never mind, it's a lesson learned. And the side shoots that I've taken off, which I'll show you in a minute, have done really well, so I'm not too worried. I'll probably get some tomatoes off them, and it's a lesson for next year not to start too early. And make sure you put them outside before they get too big. And they're too wussy to be able to deal with all the wind, but we have had some particularly strong winds and rain over this spring, summer, so I'm going to blame that as much as anything. But they're trying. Hopefully when I go away they won't die, but there's a flower on there on this one. And then the not sweet pea flower, which I don't know what it is still, but I've now managed to get it to stop being blown away because the wind was really strong, and it became a matted bundle down the bottom there because of the wind. But I've now managed to get it to try and climb up a bit this trellis. It's starting to flower. It's very pretty. I still have no clue what it is, but clearly not a sweet pea. And then we've got gladiolus and dahlias. And one of the dahlias, Mr. Sneezy, has flowered and it's covered in these little beetles. But it doesn't seem to stop the bees having a go on it, so yeah, I've never seen that before. I don't know if is that a lily beetle or something? I've never seen that one, but no one's ever mentioned it before on dahlias, but as it's the only thing in the garden, it's probably why. And then the black fly, but I'm not worrying about it. Oh, there's a ladybird in there. Keeping warm in the dahlia. But it's very pretty, and if they're not doing it any harm, I'm not bothered. But yeah, there is a lot of black fly, and I think that ladybird's having a sleep in there after consuming some of those black fly eggs. And the 3 dahlias at the back have all come up nicely. Some of the gladioli haven't. Some have come up in the last day or so, because I normally take the pet stick out when I see one, so that's progress. There's obviously quite gritty soil, so that's probably why it's taking so long to push through. But yeah, there's another one over here actually. A couple over here that have come up that I can take the sticks out of now. So that's good. I only put them in so I would know where to water. And I think that's another dahlia, Sneezy's brother. That's finally pushed through the soil. The peony, I think, was on the end there and has done nothing, but to be fair, I didn't expect it to, but for a couple of pounds, basically, a fiver, we've got quite a lot of things that have come up, and ranunculus are in the pots down the bottom by the house. So yeah, I think it cost about 5 or 6 quid. Pretty happy. I do have to get Ben some red hot pokers, otherwise he'll never forgive me, so at some point I'm going to have to sort out them. And there's the rest of the gladiola, which I brought up here because I figured there's a better chance of getting watered away from the house, so whilst we're away hopefully they won't die. But yeah, so that's that. Then there's our furry tree thing that Ben wanted. We went to, the very first time we went to Dobby's, he wanted it, so we bought it. I'm not sure if it's going to live there permanently, but it's there for now. It's looking a lot happier than it was when we planted it, so that's good. And we did have a little visitor earlier. I don't know if he's still there, but under there was a hedgehog. Under that, I'll show you a bit of film that Ben took. I think he's hiding under there. It's nice and shady, and because it's rained recently, the worms are up, so I think he was eating the worms. So my cauliflowers are under here. One of them has been a bit munched, but not a lot I can do about that. I've covered them over as best I can. Things still get in. So see if I can lift that thing up. Yeah, so I've covered them up as best I can. One there that's not doing so well, but the others are okay. That one's been, as I say, eaten, but might give them a spray tonight when I do the ones around the window, which I'm trying to put off because I don't really want to do it. And then after watching Gardener's World this week, I don't want to do it even more because I don't want to kill any spiders, but they're killing my plants. And then there's my tomatoes, as I mentioned before. This is a side shoot one, this is a side shoot one, and that's Roma, which is a little bush variety with cherry plum tomatoes. That's doing really well. And then there's the other side shoot which I planted yesterday, which was in the greenhouse, cold frame, lean-to, whatever you want to call it. Until yesterday it took a bit long to mature into a bit of a plant, so I popped him in, so hopefully he'll be able to survive whilst we're away. I basically planted everything I could apart from the leeks. I haven't done them yet. I might do them this evening because I think it's going to be a hot day today and I don't want to kill them off. I'm trying to get everything in the garden because obviously we're going away. They're not going to get watered and they need to establish themselves, so we've got about 3 weeks before we go away for a week. So hopefully, it'll probably rain all week anyway, so I don't know what I'm worrying about. So I put the remainder of the celery that I potted up last week in this bed here. It's grown quite a bit since I've done that over the week, so these were just the stragglers. I gave I think 6 plants to Ben's mum, so hopefully they've survived the journey and make nice celery soon. Then there's my onions, which are not far off from being ready. Some of these, got some quite big ones in there, so they'll probably be one. Say by the time we get back from holiday, they might be ready to lift, some of them, and let them dry out. But it's just rained overnight, so they're all nice and sparkly and wet. And then the beetroot that I abused last week is starting to recover. And they've all wilted. Hopefully they'll pick back up. The leaves have gone very purple. Hopefully it'll be okay, but there's not a lot I can do about it if it isn't. But I am going to pull some of these up today, because this is the first row I planted in April. I think it was, or March even, maybe April, March. There's a really big one in there, which I'm going to pull up today, and we're going to do some roast veggies, and I'm going to try roast beetroot, because I think it's about the only thing I haven't tried. I've had it at a restaurant, I think, but I haven't ever made it myself, so those 2, maybe 3, will come out today, a bit later. So yeah, there's the other rows of radishes, beetroot. I do need again to thin these out, but I was waiting to see if these pick up again. Some of them are okay, but we'll see what happens. It's all a lesson, isn't it, at the end of the day? If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And then my peas are looking pretty fabulous. Starting to flower now. I uncovered them last week because I left them a bit long. They're obviously growing stronger on the side that the sun hits them the most, I suppose. I might need to put a bit of string through here, because I think they might need a little bit more support than they're getting, but I'll do that this afternoon. So yeah, they're looking good. Celery, I put a bit of compost around the bases of all of these yesterday, just to try and help keep the moisture in for when we go away. And then there's runner beans, which deliberately are not wanting to climb up the trellis, they want to go out, but some of them managed it. So yeah, this is a mixture of runner beans, but some of them have got some flowers on now, so that's amazing. So hopefully pretty soon this will be covered. And then there's water we put down for the hedgehog. Hopefully he's under there still. And then there's my marrows, and I noticed yesterday, if I can still find it, ta-da! A little baby marrow. Some of the flowers are open up there. I didn't realise that some of these flowers will be male and some will be female. I read that in a book last night, so that's interesting. So you can see the female ones are the ones with the fruit, and the male ones are the ones that don't have fruit, or a pod behind it, which I find very interesting. I did not know that. Yeah, some of the flowers have fell off in the wind, but it doesn't matter. Again, I put some compost around the bases of these, and I gave them a feed last night, so they're looking okay. That's the scrawny blighter that I repotted last weekend. So the marrow that was broken or bent at the stem, I put a piece of pottery either side of it, a piece of slate the other side, to try and stop it from being buffeted around too much, in case it still seems green. And it was about a week ago that I filmed the last video of it, so I'm going to hazard that it might be okay if no slugs get involved. Boo. Oh, thought we'd saved it. It got done quite well. The wind has just been so brutal this year, so it hasn't really stood a chance, which is a shame. To fill that gap, and he's a bit behind the others, but that's no bad thing, because we're going to have a glut. I can feel it. And I've just noticed in here, where is it gone? Saw it from over there. Where's it gone? Oh, there it is. Another baby marrow. God, it's spiky, but they are lovely leaves. It's like being in a palm house. Those leaves, amazing, aren't they? Spiky, aren't they? Yeah, so that is interesting. And this one's in full flower. Oh, and another one. So we've got one on each, I think, apart from the baby one. So, interesting. Hopefully there'll be someone. I've had to move the bird table because the cats kept trying to get the birds when it was near the fence, so we've put it in the middle of here for the moment. It's not the perfect place for it. But it's got to be far enough from the fence that the cat can't try and attack the starlings that keep landing on it, so we'll think of something. And then there's some courgettes that Ben's mum gave us that he brought back this week. They were looking a bit worse for wear, but I think they've picked up now and they're actually opening out, so that's good. So yeah, that's everything at the moment. The herbs need weeding, but they're doing okay, apart from the leaf hopper, which isn't as bad up this end, but you can see it's got the marjoram there eating through that. Oh, we've got potato growing out of the compost heap, despite my best efforts to not allow that to happen. A potato. I don't know what to do, to leave it or pull it up. I pulled it up. There we go. So yeah, that's it. That's what it looks like at the minute. So I hope you enjoyed looking at my garden in July. Lots of things are growing, everything's becoming very, very green and lush, which is lovely. So I'm very excited to see what happens next month. So until then, I'll see you next time. Bye bye.